Hello everyone, and welcome back to the British Royal Fanatic Podcast. I'm Hayden, your American friend with a passion for British royal history. If you enjoy discussing all things royal media, in addition to current events and history within the royal family, then you have found your home. Hello, hi, and welcome. If you could please take a moment, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon down below. That way you stay up to date on all things happening here on the channel. Today marks the 25th anniversary of the passing of Diana, Princess of Wales. In these past 25 years, we have seen many different depictions of her across film and television. She has been honored in many different ways, and this year is no different. Last year, she was honored with a statue at Kensington Palace, which many rumors have said that is the last time that we will see William and Harry together to do any form of joint engagement, really anything. One of the things that people remember about her, besides being a beautifully flawed character, is her fashion. She still is this fashion icon that her influences are still used to this day. Many other royals, especially the Duchess of Cambridge, still allude to her style to this day. There are many instances where royal commentators have pointed out where they're essentially putting her in Diana cosplay as a way to elicit certain feelings from the public, stir up emotions, and again, keep her in the forefront of our memories. She may have passed in 1997, but it is still as if she's still here. And so today at the podcast, beginning our little mini-series in tribute to her, we're going to be looking at some of my personal favorite looks of hers. It is no secret here on the channel, I really enjoy royal fashion. Royal fashion is something that is deeply interesting and very political. It is very calculated. It is very thought out. It is planned months, years in advance, and royals communicate through their clothing. We see that in books such as the Lady Di Lookbook, HRH, Notes on Royal Fashion, the multitude of books about just how the Queen dresses and how they style her together. Royal fashion is something that is very well planned and thought out. And so this week, we're going to be looking at my top 10, in no particular order, top 10 favorite looks from Princess Diana through the years. Before we get into it, let me know down below, what are some of your favorite looks? And maybe some of them are listed here today. We'll never know until we get started. But let me know down below, what are some of your favorite looks of Princess Diana? All right, so first up on the chopping block, we have the revenge dress. This was a serve, whether you like it or not. This was a power move by her in 1994. This is the exact same night where Prince Charles admitted to having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, and at this point he was completely painted as the villain. And this look is a complete 100% beautiful look. I earnestly would not change anything about this. It is wonderfully styled. One of the big things that I slightly dislike about some royal fashions is they tend to over accessorize. They have the necklace with the bracelet over here, ring on this hand, the earrings, and they tend to over accessorize, where this one, it's simple. We just have the necklace, short earrings, bracelet, that is it. One of the things that I particularly appreciate about this look is that they could have easily gone with different pantyhose, but they stuck with the black pantyhose, and it really sort of continues this wonderful silhouette down. It is a very daring look. We see a little bit of cleavage, we see leg. She was going to wear Valentino. She had a completely different look planned for this event, but it got leaked to the press. She had this dress, this Christina Stambolian dress, for a while, since 1991. She thought it was too daring, and this shows, how calculated Diana was at times. She really knew her image and power in the press and knew how to really control that. And this is an example of that. Same night this documentary comes out, she steals the show in this beautiful number. I wouldn't change anything about this. This is beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing it replicated on The Crown. We've seen teaser images of this, but number one, this is what I will say, this is my number one favorite look of hers, the revenge dress. This dress has its own Wikipedia page, and a very detailed Wikipedia page. And yeah, beautiful, timeless. I wouldn't change anything about this. Complete serve. I love this look so much. Our next one, the Travolta dress, November 1985, when she went with Charles on a visit to the White House. And fun fact, she actually didn't really want to dance with John Travolta. There was another ballerina and professional dancer that she wanted to dance with, but she ended up dancing with John Travolta, and it truly wasn't something she 100% wanted, but she still did it anyway. Made news. We have the same necklace as the worn in the Revenge dress. This one thing that it doesn't come across in photographs is this dress is not black. This dress is actually a midnight blue, and when Diane was getting fitted for it, when she went to the dresser's studio, this dress was this burgundy color, and it got fitted, and Diana said, I want it in this really dark blue, and that's what we see to this day. This one, in her fashion progression timeline, this is one where she's finally like figured out her style. This is she's more form-fitting. We see, slightly lower necklines. It's, a dress to the floor, but it's giving this sort of a different type of princess silhouette. From 1981 up until about this point, she was giving what she thought should be this princess fairy tale look, which we'll see a few of them later on. But this is where she's actually finding her style, and it's, again, simply stylized. She didn't overcrowd it with accessories. This dress is beautiful. And she wore this dress multiple times. She did not wear it just the once. She wore it, I believe, 3 or 4 more times in the 80s before she officially retired it. This dress was, of course, again, sold in 1997 with the rest of her gowns. It was bought by a businessman, and then he sold it in 2013. It was then bought by someone else. And then now, as of 2020, it is actually back in the Royal Collection. I remember when they made that big news break. It is back in the Royal Collection. It's preserved. It's in their historic gowns and costumes area. So this one will be preserved for centuries to come. But the Travolta dress still reads, again, my eyes still read this as black, and it boggles. But this is one of the dresses I want to see in person, because I want to truly see this midnight blue. Our next look, the Cannes Film Festival, May 1987. This blue number chiffon with the really large scarf going down the back. This one is a Catherine Walker look. She used Catherine Walker quite frequently. And one thing that people don't realize is at the Cannes Film Festival, there is actually a strict dress code that women have to follow. And men, of course, have to wear tuxedos and whatnot, but women, you won't be allowed on the carpet if you're not wearing heels. There's a huge dress code there, and Diana blew this out of the water. This is another look that she wore a few times. She, I believe, wore this 2 more times, so she wore this 3 times in total. This is what is called in the Lady Di lookbook book. This is what's called her Tinseltown era, where she's giving really Hollywood, very flashy. It's coming just off of the Travolta dress. And this one, I really enjoy the flowiness of the chiffon. You can really make wonderful patterns as how you fold it, how you drape it. And this one, again, she knows she's the star. She knows everybody's looking at her. And it's a very, very beautiful look. I know The Crown alluded to this dress. They did their own interpretation of it in season 4. But this one, it's like purple and silver that she wore to Prince Charles's birthday performance. Yeah, she wore it then in the show, but this is the dress that they're specifically alluding to, is the Cannes Film Festival, May 1987. There's actually little figurines you can buy that are in this dress. That's really interesting. I appreciate a good chiffon. I like the flowiness of it. Blue, as you can tell, is one of my favorite colors, so we've had 2 looks now back to back that are blue, and it's just simple, elegant, showing her mature, refined style. Fantastic. Wouldn't change anything about it. Our next look, plaid. I love plaid. I love everything about plaid. I wish I had more of it. There's actually a yellow plaid jacket that I wear to work almost every day. This was first worn in 1981. She then repurposed it, had it altered, and reworn again in 1985. This is a Carolyn Charles look. Carolyn Charles she has dressed the royals before, so she knows what the protocol, what to dictate in these early years of Diana, they were so cautious with her. They really wanted to try to create what her working uniform was. Like every royal, I know Catherine went through this same phase where early on in your tenure, it's kind of weird. You're kind of experimenting with silhouettes and cuts and colors to figure out what works for you. And this is an example of one of her work uniforms. I really appreciate the dark plaid. I like the 81 version of this dress, this sort of dress suit, better than the 85, but I like how she opened up the collar here and has, a scarf over there. At this point, this is her typical royal uniform. This was worn to the Scottish Braemar gatherings in 1981 for its first iteration, and then, yes, she had it altered and worn a few more times after that. Her typical work uniform, I really love plaid. I like dark plaid. You can do a lot to style with it. But even early on, you can see simple styling. She just has earrings, her ring, her bag, and that's it. You can see her watch, but she doesn't overcrowd it with too many brooches, long earrings. She already had a really good eye for styling. She knew how to really put it together, keep it clean, and this is an example of that. And of course, the savvy royal, she was always heavily critiqued, even still to this day, about how exorbitant she spent on clothes. Well, as you can see, the only one she only wore once out of this whole timeline of lists of looks is she only wore the revenge dress once. All the looks we've seen, she's worn at least 2 or 3 more times. So at least she's trying to be conscious about it. But I love plaid. I love everything about plaid. I love this look. I would love to see if anybody could do like a male fashion interpretation of this look. This next one, this big coat. I love big coats. I really appreciate big coats. I like just being able to feel small and tiny in them. I love that you can dress them in various ways. You can style them up, style them down. You can really play with a silhouette and shape when you have a really big oversized coat. And this one is right up my alley. I wish I could have this coat. I wish I could wear this coat. I wish somehow I could get this coat in my collection. This is a coat by Arabella Poland. It was worn in the mid to late 80s, so after she'd already really sort of refined her style. But then she wore it again a few times in the late 90s and 1997. The beret in the first picture of it is a Gilly George beret. It is a black faux fur coat, and it's with the tan. I want this coat. I love this coat. I want this coat. I need it in my collection as soon as possible. Someone, please, I will model it for you. I really want to wear this coat so bad. This next look, her very first engagement ever. It is March 1981. She is still Lady Diana Spencer. She's not the Princess of Wales yet, but Charles has proposed to her, and this was her very first engagement ever, and this dress created waves, and she got in so much trouble for this dress. It was black, it was strapless, it wasn't tailored to fit, it was off the rack, it wasn't appropriate for the setting. She was not trained in royal protocol, so Her Serene Highness Princess Grace of Monaco had to coach her through, give her these crash courses through where to hold the bag in what hand. I remember reading about this dress, watching documentaries about this dress. I really appreciate a black dress. I side with Diana in this one. I think black is a very smart color. I think it is a very sophisticated color when you wear it. I think it really can elevate a look and really show someone's taste level on how you style a black dress. So this one, I have no issues with this look. I know this dress, I believe, is in the royal collection at this point, or in private collectors. I'm not sure what happened to this specific dress, but this was an Emmanuel's dress in these early years. Her wedding dress was done by the Emmanuels. She had a lot of looks, both formal and day looks, done by the Emmanuels. I love this look. Wouldn't change anything about it. 10 out of 10. Even knowing it's early Diana, she still doesn't know what her royal style looks like. She's still communicating a level of maturity here, wanting to be mature, wanting to fit in. And what's really interesting is that her first look, the Lady Di lookbook cites this, and I cite it down below, that her very first royal engagement, she wore black, and her very last official royal engagement, she wore black. So it's really interesting to see how that was paired together. and that little, character arc of immature to mature. She knows what she's doing now. She knows her style. She knows her body. Our next look, this white look. This one, this is in her early years. This is 1983. She wore it in Canada. She also wore this dress again for the state opening of Parliament. This dress, I believe, is one of the few that she actually designed herself with the help of the Emanuels. And you can see this is the early style of Diana. This is what the firm was trying to convey of what a princess should be, this fairy tale princess. We see silks, florals, ruffles, bows. We see sort of a kind of a crowded silhouette up top. It still has a nice, you can still see shape, but she's really covered. We see various types of fabrics being paired together. She's in her, what became famous for her, the lover's knot tiara. A lot of women in events such as this tend to wear white or white with certain embroidery on it. But as you can see, it's kind of a busy look. There's a lot going on here with various ruchings. There's the boat neck gown, but with the boat neck line with the ruffles and then the lace and then the bows. And it very much shows the immature style, but what they were trying to convey as this quote-unquote fairy tale princess. But I still like this look. It's, out of the ones of this era, this is one of the more simple ones, believe it or not. I just really appreciate this. This is the type of silhouette that I tend to really gravitate towards. Boat neck gown to the floor, 3/4 length sleeve. It's a silhouette that I at least am drawn to. But now how it's styled with the bows and ribbons, I get it. It's very loud, but I still like it. I still appreciate it. Her next look, October 1985. This was an engagement in Coventry, and this is, again, I love this coat. I want this coat. I love everything about this. I need this coat right now. This is working Diana. Her work uniform, you can see where Kate's team pulls influences from her, because Kate has a similar coat dress and a similar shape and color. She's worn quite a few times. Diana has a full suit on underneath this, but you can see where Kate's team gets their references from in this. They are very aware of what she's doing. This is a work look. This is her work uniform. It's professional. It's clean. It's simple. To the point. You have a wonderful hat. Wouldn't change anything about it, but I need this coat. 2 more looks left. This military look, April 1987. She's on an engagement visiting the Sandhurst Military Academy, and this gets into the genre of Diana where she plays with gender and she plays with more masculine lines. There's a whole series of looks where she's wearing tuxedo dresses, or actually just a full-blown tuxedo, a suit that's tailored to men's lines, and she plays with military silhouettes, and this is where she's being playful, and I love this look. This is fun. This is so out of the box of what a royal has worn. Kate Middleton actually wore a look similar to this for one of the memorial services where the royals are in all black. Not for Prince Philip. It was for, I believe it was for VE Day and remembering World War II and all those that were lost. But Kate Middleton has worn a look that is very similar to this, where you can see her team pulling style references from it. I love this. I wish there were more looks like this. I wish that she actually leaned in a little more and wore pants with it instead of an actual dress and heels. I would say go for it, or carry some of that braiding down into the skirt or up into the hat too. You could really have more of it there and sort of make your own look, but I appreciate this. I love when Diana plays with gender, because you can tell it makes the firm, at the time it made the firm, really angry. And of course wearing pants. How dare a royal working woman wear pants? But again, wouldn't change anything about it. White, gold. She's playing with gender. She's very clever. She was very clever. But love this look. I wish you could do so much more with it, but what she did do is very, again, simple, refined, slightly pulled back. Love everything about it. And our last look is the Elvis dress, November 1989. Catherine Walker gown, white strapless dress with matching bolero, covered in pearls, worn, I believe it was photographed a lot. She did a few photo shoots with it, but she only wore it, I believe, once or twice. And this is, of course, one that was sold in 1997. It was in the collection of the Franklin Mint, but it was donated to the Victoria and Albert Museum and is currently in their collection in their historic gowns and costumes. Prince William apparently hated this look. When it was being sold at auction, he joked and said this was going to be the lowest bid item because it's atrocious. Which I appreciate the comedy here, but it's, again, she's going out of the box. She's being flashy. She's being glitzy. She's, again, selling this Hollywood princess fantasy for us to ingest, and it's called the Elvis dress because of the really high collar and the pearls. There's a lot of Elvis jumpsuits from the 70s that look very similar to this look, so you can see where that style reference came from, but it's, of course, very refined. She carries the pearls up into with her tiara, her jewels. It's all, pearls, which is, again, very simple. You could easily crowd this look with mixing gemstones and mixing all that, but she didn't. I love this look. I think it's fun. I think it's a little cheeky and so over the top that it's stupid. But I really appreciate this. It was so in polar contrast to what Charles was wearing at the time as well, because he at the time was still very streamlined in what he wore. So I think this is fun. I think it's cheeky. And yep, it's currently not on display in the Victoria and Albert Museum, but I have a feeling it could come out again when they do another Diana exhibit, because so many museums now have her pieces. But there we have it. My top 10 favorite Diana looks. She was a style icon. She really encapsulates an era, and the royals are still pulling influence from her to this day, especially Kate and Meghan. They are still alluding to her, pulling references from her, pulling at those public heartstrings, and there's so many looks to pull from that I believe that well until Kate becomes queen consort, we will still see allusions to Diana's style. Even when I believe she becomes Princess of Wales, that they'll really kick it up a notch and allude to Diana and her style. But we honor you, Diana, Princess of Wales, 25 years later. My top 10 favorite looks. Let me know, were some of your favorite looks featured today? I would love to hear that down in the comments below. But there we have it. Part 1 of our mini-series, Remembering Diana, 25 years later. And with that, I will see you in the next one.